Yep. Come on. Welcome to the J East podcast. I am J East. All right, you guys, we got a good one here. We got another good one. You know, sometimes these things just kind of work themselves out. The vibe is good. The energy is good. Everything is feeling great. So let's get straight into the episode, right? Right. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing great. I hope everything is going amazing for you in your journeys and in your lives. Obviously, this is a J East podcast, and obviously, I am J East. So, for this week's episode, we're still touching on the core series. Core series has been going strong. It's been going great. I think it's been really good. I think if you put everything together, then you're getting something out of this. And if you do not know what the core series, listen, as I've said in every single episode, if you don't know what the core series is, then please feel free to go check out the previous episodes. If you are watching this on YouTube, there's a couple of videos already before this one about, some of the other parts of the core series. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Radio Republic and all those other different ones. Then I encourage you to go listen to the previous episodes. They're all really good. They're as good as this one. But let me stop rambling and let me stop, just kind of going off on a tangent here about the previous episodes. So for this week's episode, we're talking about discipline. 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 I struggled to get that one out there. It's a lot of pressure. Now, most people normally think of discipline, and they normally think of discipline and motivation as the same thing. Or they think of them as, from the same tree or the same concept or the same understanding. But it's a little different. There's two, really big differences between motivation and discipline. I think the first thing that I would say is, if you want to achieve something, your, internal reasoning, that forces you on a path towards achieving a goal, that would be considered your motivation. How much effort or how much work you actually put in order to achieve that goal is your discipline. So, again, the work and the effort that you actually put in to achieve a goal or, to get something done, that is your discipline. The internal feeling that makes you want to get the goal done, that is your motivation. So one is an internal feeling and the other one is an external action, if you would. Now, I know you're probably listening to this and you're probably thinking, well, I'm pretty disciplined. I don't see, what the big deal is about discipline. Or you're probably thinking, well, there's a lot of undisciplined people in the world that are getting things done. So why do I need to be disciplined? Cool. Get it. Got it. I understand. I can see why you would say that. You're probably thinking, what is the importance of, this whole discipline thing? Well, first things first, understand that discipline or self-discipline, because you can be self-disciplined. Discipline is, again, completely different from motivation. You might be able to do the things that you're supposed to, but that's not the same as being motivated to a higher purpose or having the self-motivation to actually keep going when your willpower is depleted. And that's the important thing there. Willpower is this limited resource, but it's something that we all feel that, it kind of can get us, into a drive to get things done. But when the willpower runs out, when you run out of willpower, then what? What do you do then? That's when the discipline will kick in. That is when you will be able to get things done. But you still need both. With this whole discipline thing, I would say that it's something that everyone's aware of. We're all, fully aware of, the concept of discipline. We've heard it multiple times. The most successful people in life are disciplined. You've heard that too. But I don't think a lot of people realize that without discipline, there'd be a lot of chaos. There'd just be a lot of random things going on all over the place. No rhyme or reason, no understanding, no way to rein it in. That's where, like, discipline is almost like a rule in life that kind of keeps things in checks and balances. There's a saying, and I want to make sure that I get the saying right. So I'm actually going to read the saying verbatim. The saying is, talent without discipline is like an octopus on roller skates. There's plenty of movement, but you never know if it's going to be moving forward, backwards, or sideways. I don't know who said that, but it's a really good quote, and it's really, really true. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not disciplined to know when to use that talent and how to use that talent and how to tap into that talent, then having all of that talent is kind of pointless. I mean, yeah, you'll be getting things done, but the question is, are you actually moving forward with the things that you're doing, or are you in the same place? Are you moving backwards? Are you actually regressing a little bit? Not all movement is always forward progress. If you watch football, or if you know any kind of sports, you'll understand that with a race or anything, not all movement is forward. It's the same thing with your 2 feet. You can pick up your 2 feet and you can walk forward and go somewhere, but if the direction that you really needed to go in was behind you, are you really moving forward? Technically you are, but not really. And to the same token, if you're supposed to go forward and you're walking backwards, are you really getting to where you need to go? Probably not. So that's the thing with talent. Talent without discipline is almost like this inertia. It's just this energy that's just doing. But what is it doing? Is the doing actually, accomplishing anything? That's where, discipline comes in. The ability to have self-restraint allows you to consistently get things done, especially in a controlled manner. So, again, the lack of having that ability could be disastrous, because ultimately, if you don't have self-restraint, and if you don't have a drive or a push to really get things done when they need to get done, even if you don't want to get it done, then it's going to be really difficult to, move forward and get anything done. I'll give you another example. If anyone has gone to a gym, or if you've ever worked out, or if you've ever had any kind of routine of working out or a diet, there's motivation that's involved there. The motivation is what gets you there, gets you to the gym and it gets you feeling good. But the discipline is what makes you do the amount of reps you're supposed to do. The discipline is what keeps you going back on multiple days. The discipline is what keeps you in check. The discipline is what keeps you on routine. With everything that we've spoken about, you'll always hear routine and habits and work involved, because that's just life. There's a lot of routines, there's a lot of habits, and there's a lot of work. And discipline will keep you in check with doing the right routines and the right habits. Discipline will keep you working. It's just really interesting how deeply intertwined, discipline is with everything. So now that and now that you understand this amazing and brilliant thing about discipline that obviously you never knew before, or you did, you're probably wondering, how do you become more disciplined, or how do you develop self-discipline? Something of those sorts. And it would make sense, because, talking about this and then not explaining to you the way to become disciplined, or the way to, engage discipline, would kind of be pointless, right? Right. So how can you today start being more disciplined? Well, start small. Everything starts with baby steps. It all starts with, those small little things that you have to do. But when you attempt to accomplish things that seem that they're bigger than they are, it becomes really, really difficult. When it's a mountain that you have to climb and it's not just a dirt pile or it's not just a hill, then it looks really difficult and it can be really challenging. Start with baby steps. It's really important to understand that as humans, your brain does not like changes. It doesn't. Even if you're a person that likes change, your brain does not like change. We are creatures of habit. If you motivate yourself to get something done, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get done. It just means that you've motivated yourself to do it. The discipline to actually perform the action will get it done. And in this year of doing, not trying, but doing, it is important for you to understand that too. You could say it means nothing if you don't do it. And to the same token, if you don't say it and then you don't do it, that's even worse. So start doing. Start with small baby steps. That's the best way to really begin anything. It always starts with small baby steps. And then those things, pile on and they become, larger things in the long run. And those smart baby steps slowly become something bigger when it's all put together. It's like a snowball effect. So start with the baby steps. It's the easiest way. Start with small things. Start, with your diet. Start with, your regular food schedule. Start with your regular work schedule. Start with the things that you really don't want to do, but you know that you have to do, and start with the minor ones and then work your way up to the bigger ones. As you start to develop discipline and you start to do those things, it'll be a reward for yourself to continue moving forward. But that won't happen if you don't start with something. And starting is always the most difficult point. So if you start, you get the most difficult part out of the way. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing that you can do is prioritize. Prioritize your day. Prioritize your week. Prioritize your time. Prioritize your month. Prioritize everything. On this great journey that we're, living in, and on this great journey that everyone is on, it seems really, really easy to just let life come to you as it must. But prioritizing things will allow you the time that you think that you don't have to actually get things done. It will give you back that time so you can actually get more things done. But it starts with prioritizing your time, prioritizing your task, prioritizing people, and prioritizing yourself. Those things that really, separate you from the people that are not disciplined is your mistakes, your past mistakes, your past missteps, your miscues, the things that may have taken you off track or off path. I say that because what makes it different is the people that are able to learn from their past mistakes, the people that are able to learn from what they've done in the past, not necessarily wrong, but also not necessarily right. Those are the people that are able to grow, they're able to develop, and they're able to be disciplined and not make the same mistake again. But when you don't want to even acknowledge that you've made that mistake, it's easy for you to do it again. It's easy for you to risk it again because you never really acknowledged that it was a problem to begin with. Make sense so far? So if you're keeping track, the first one was baby steps. The second one was prioritizing. And I just told you the third one there. It was learning from your past mistakes. And the last thing I'll probably say, that can help you with this is, again, practicing good habits, developing good habits. Disciplined people have good habits. Discipline comes from good habits. We all have good habits. We all have bad habits. We know what the good ones are and we know what the bad ones are. But the people that practice their good habits are usually the people that have a little bit more discipline than the others. I can tell you firsthand, I have a whole lot of bad habits. I also have a lot of good ones, but I have a lot of bad habits. And in my journey, I can tell you that I'm someone that can also use more discipline. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with acknowledging that you need to be more disciplined in your life, more disciplined in what you do, and more disciplined in general. Everyone can afford to be more disciplined with something, somewhere, at some point in their life. Again, it all comes down to structure. So, now that I've told you all of that, is there anything else I would really want to tell you about discipline? There's quite a few. I mean, I would say don't wait for it to feel right to start to develop discipline. Don't wait for it to start to feel right to decide to be disciplined. Start now. Everything is a starting now moment. It always can go like that. The year is young. You know, this year just began. I don't know when you guys are listening to this. I don't know what year you're listening to this. But no matter when it is, even if you're listening to this in the month of December of any year, technically that means that the new year is young and it's starting up. The year is always young. It's a different way to look at things. It's a different way to view things. And it will give you a lot more flexibility with beginning, different tasks and beginning habits and beginning your discipline. Because it's not that you're running out of time. It's that time is there for you to take advantage of it. All you have to do is yield it and take advantage of it. That's it. It's entirely your choice. It's up to you. So, with all of that said, the last thing I would say is to the people that are going to do this, and I encourage you all to, but to the people that are really going to do this, kudos to you. I'm going to do it too, so we're all going to be in this together. But to the people that are really going to go out there and do it, don't forget to reward yourself in everything that you're doing. Give yourself a splurge here and there. I'm not saying to practice those bad habits, but reward yourself for being disciplined. Don't be hard on yourself. We're not drill sergeants. We are not control freaks. There has to be some kind of reward at the end of the race. And in this journey of life that contains a lot of mini races, it could be really, really exhausting if every time that you're passing the finish line and you're winning, you're never actually acknowledging the fact that you won. So small victories are great. They don't have to take up all of your time, but they should take up some of your time to some extent. Reward yourself. Reward yourself for being disciplined. And then use that as motivation so that you can reward yourself again. See how motivation kicks in there? Again, two completely different things. So, I hope that this episode has been really helpful for all of you that are watching it, for everyone that is listening to this. But again, as I've said before, this is a journey. We're all in this journey. The journey is not going to end. It's just going to continue. Do not beat yourself up if any of the parts of the core series seem difficult to grasp, or they seem difficult to begin, or it just seems like it's too taxing, or it seems like it's a burden. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Something that I remember Kobe Bryant used to say. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And none of this is easy. And if it's easy, what's the point? Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself today, challenge yourself tomorrow, challenge yourself next week. Just keep challenging yourself. Keep pushing yourself to be better, to be greater, to be your best, and just keep growing. And in the process of doing that, grow your discipline. Start by disciplining yourself to listen to next week's episode of the podcast. You see what I did there? I'm so funny. I know. This guy. But for real, start challenging yourself, disciplining yourself, continue to grow, be better. Ultimately, that's all I really want from everyone that's listening and that's watching this. I just want you to be better in the same process that I'm becoming better. And that's it. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the podcast, share the YouTube channel, hit me with a like, spread this information to someone that can use it. There is always someone that can use the information. So don't be shy, spread the information. I think I have a pretty easy going voice that other people will be okay listening to. And that's it. I will catch you guys on the next episode. But until then, again, be disciplined, be great, stay well, be blessed. Just keep growing. That's all I gotta say. Peace.